Don't let the sun catch you crying. The night's the time for all your tears. It's Bonner again, and it's time for another song lesson. Today we're going to look at the other band from Liverpool. Of course, everyone always thinks of the Beatles, but I also think of Gerry and the Pacemakers, Gerry Marsden, this beautiful voice, a handful of radio hits, but they also had a handful of songs that stand the test of time, and this is one of them. This is a song really suitable for someone who's just stepping beyond that beginner level or is looking to step beyond that beginner level. Our learning agenda for today is going to be, of course, as always, we're going to start with the chords. The chords in this song are not complicated. We can play a very simple version of these chords. You can also play these chords in slightly more advanced positions if you choose. I'm going to stick to simpler open chords for today just to get you started as quickly as possible. The next thing we're going to talk about is what's Bonner's magical method for almost instantly learning the chords to any song, Bonner's Chord Worksheet. One of the things that makes this song have a distinctive sound is it has a kind of northern soul kind of groove to it. We're going to talk about that northern soul rhythm, which also is going to include a little bit of time spent on the basic skill of the muted strum. And then we're going to step through the song section by section. There's really just a verse and a bridge, and they're both very, very playable, so let's jump in. This song has a kind of a soul rhythm structure, which often comes down in many, many songs to a repeating set of two chords and then slight variations to go elsewhere with the melody. Okay, our first chord is this C major 7. We're just playing on the A string and the D string of the C, but our pointer's off the B string, and the G, B, and E are open. Okay, our F major 7 is this chord here, so it's just like an F, except we're adding in the open high E string. So I'm just holding down D, G, and B, and then I'm playing that high open E string. Okay, and that's the main first part. Then when I'm playing G, I'm playing an ordinary G, except I'm holding down both of these notes. And the D and the G, on the D on the B string, G on the high E string. And that gives you almost a kind of 12-string kind of sound on the top of the chord. It brightens it up. Then just regular A minor here. There's regular A minor that you already know. I'm just playing a regular E minor, just these two fingers, D string and A string. Okay? And that's all the chords. Let's talk about how do we remember these chords. There's not a ton of chords, but you may or may not have already played these chords, and you want to remember these chords as quickly as possible. So what I do is I use a chord worksheet, which I'm going to show you on the screen right now. Okay, so what you're seeing on the screen right now is a scan of my notes, my chord worksheet notes for this song. And what I want to point out to you is, for example, the C major 7, I'm showing which fingers I'm holding down, just on the A string and the D string, on which frets. I've got a colored mark showing me which is the root of the chord. And so what I do is I put this worksheet on the music stand beside my song notes that show me the lyrics and the chord changes. And simply by having that diagram in front of me, my mind is synthesizing quite automatically, synthesizing these chord shapes, and they very rapidly and with almost no effort at all become part of my vocabulary of chord shapes. It's a really powerful tool. If you want a free copy of the blank chord worksheet, by all means, just send me an email, bonner.harris@gmail.com, and I'll send you a PDF copy of the worksheet that you can use on your own. The strumming pattern for Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying is just thumb, bop, bop. Okay? But what I'm doing there, okay, so that's the basic rhythm. So I'm going, here's the basic rhythm for Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying. Okay, and you don't have to be super precise with it, but that's the basic idea. Is 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. It can be thumb, strum, thumb, up, down, up, Okay, that's what I tend to play, is thumb, strum, thumb, up, down, strum, thumb, up, down, down, thumb, up, down, down, thumb, up, down, up. Now, the whole strumming exercise is a little bit noisy if I don't mute the ends of each pattern. So what I tend to do is mute by bringing my hand down. So I'm going to show you muting. So here's muting. What I'm doing is I'm going thumb, down, and when I go down, I'm just letting my hand sweep past and come down on the strings a little bit. Okay, so I'm going thumb, strum, and when I strum down, I'm just letting the back of my hand kind of fall onto the strings. Think of it like putting a steak on the barbecue, or if you're a vegetarian, it could be a lion's mane mushroom steak, but it's still a steak on the barbecue. This is your barbecue. These are the grill marks. This is the grill of your barbecue, and what you're doing is you're just throwing a steak down to get some nice grill marks on your lion's mane mushroom steak, okay? So thumb, strum, and then throw the steak on, and then thumb, up, down, up. And what I do is I just throw the steak on again at the end. So at the end of each strumming pattern, I'm going thumb, strum, mute, thumb, up, down, up, mute, thumb, strum, mute, thumb, up, down, mute. And that gives you this effect. If you're looking for more help on muted strumming, there's a link over my shoulder that will take you to a video where you can look at more detail about the muted strum. I'm going to take you through that first section again. Let's put these chords together. And when you're practicing this, a simple way to break it down and make it faster to get the whole song together is first work on just learning the chords, moving from one chord to another, and then when you're ready to practice the song a little bit, simply practice the song one line at a time. Practice the first line, stop. Practice the second line. When you can play the first line and the second line, then try playing through both lines together. But work on one line at a time to keep the scope of what you're learning small. It makes it easier for you to synthesize the material quickly, easily, and not get overwhelmed. Okay, so let's just go through that. I'll just review each line. The first line is C major 7 and F. And again. The second line starts off with the same repeating phrase, C major 7 and F major 7. Then we go to 2 measures of G, and we sort of build up the dynamic a little bit of it because we're getting into the minor section. Then we're going to the A minor. Your heart may be, and then E minor. Broken tonight. And again, A minor. And now we're doing the verse always ends with a build, F, G, and then back to the repeating line. So, don't let the sun catch you crying. Okay? The only other part of the song that there is for us to learn is simply what I call the bridge section. Okay? So we come out of the second verse. Don't let the sun catch you crying. Then it goes this. We know that crying's not a bad thing. But stop your crying when the birds sing. Okay, so all that is 2 measures of G, 2 measures of A minor, 2 measures of F major 7, and again this is this building motif, F to G. And then we just go back to a regular verse to take us out. Okay, so today we looked at Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying. It's a wonderful song to take you from the beginner level of your playing into something a little more sophisticated, but without having to invest a ton of extra work learning new stuff. Again, we talked about the chords for Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying. Mostly they're variations on chords that you should know by now, the chord versions that we looked at. And again, if you want to step it up a notch and use the bar chord equivalents of these chords, by all means, you're welcome to do so. It does make the muted strumming a little bit easier if you're comfortable with the bar chords and moving around a little bit more on the neck. We looked at the important tool that I really advocate with my beginner students, which is the chord worksheet. If you have those pictures of the chords on your music stand while you're learning the song, okay, so your sheet music's there. Okay, for me, my sheet music is on the left, my chord worksheet's on the right. And I still use the chord worksheet if I'm learning a jazz song that has a bunch of chords that I've never played before or voicings that I'm not accustomed to. I map them out on a chord worksheet and I keep them up there while I'm practicing, and very rapidly I internalize those shapes. We talked about the strumming of this song and getting that groove. We talked a little bit about muted strumming and how we're using both hands to try and mute the strum so we get that tacit at the end of the little rhythm pattern. And we stepped through the two different sections of the song. So there's Don't Let the Sun Catch You Crying. And I hope you have as much fun learning and practicing it as I have had teaching it and listening to it over the years. It's a wonderful song. I love Gerry Marsden and Gerry and the Pacemakers, and they have quite a selection of lovely songs. Ferry Cross the Mersey is another one that's an absolute classic. So have fun, practice lots, and if you want to learn some more songs, there's probably some more song videos popping up here over my shoulders. Grab one of those and come on back and see me again soon.